In Chapter 10 of Wuthering Heights, unexpected encounters and shifting dynamics begin to unravel the fragile peace at Thrushcross Grange. Let's jump right in. Lockwood's romantic vision of idyllic country life is quickly unraveling. A 4-week illness has him cursing the harsh winds, bitter skies, and impassable roads. To his surprise, Heathcliff visits during his convalescence, sitting with him for an hour of conversation. This unexpected gesture softens Lockwood's initial irritation with Heathcliff. After all, Lockwood had somewhat blamed Heathcliff for his disastrous journey through the snowstorm, a misadventure that left him soaked, frozen, and sick. Still too frail to even pick up a book, Lockwood finds himself craving some distraction. He calls for Nelly Dean, eager to hear more of her tale about the mysterious inhabitants of Wuthering Heights. Curiosity eats at him. Where did Heathcliff vanish to all those years ago? And where on earth did his newfound wealth come from? Nelly, ever the storyteller, admits that she doesn't have all the answers to Lockwood's burning questions, but she will resume her tale. It's September, and Catherine seems happy enough with Edgar and Isabella Linton, mainly because they yield to her every whim. But the real twist begins when Nelly, one day out picking apples, hears a deep, foreign voice. "Nelly, is that you?" She turns and sees a tall man dressed in dark clothes with a dark face and dark hair. She thinks it might be Hindley, but then some light falls on the man's eyes that Nelly could have never forgotten. It is Heathcliff. Heathcliff has been waiting for an hour and wants to see Catherine. Nelly says Heathcliff has been altered and asks if he has been a soldier during his absence. Heathcliff ignores Nelly's questions and tells her to smash that like button so that others can find this video. Thank you so much. Actually, Heathcliff tells Nelly to go get Catherine. Nelly struggles to complete Heathcliff's request, especially when she sees Edgar and Catherine sitting peacefully near a window overlooking the garden and park. Finally, Nelly forces herself to tell Catherine that a man from Gimmerton wishes to speak with her. After Catherine exits, Edgar asks, "Who is it?" And Nelly does reveal the truth. It is Heathcliff. Edgar responds, "What? The gypsy? The plowboy?" Catherine returns to the room ecstatic that Heathcliff is here. Edgar says that Heathcliff never struck me as such a marvelous treasure. Catherine implores Edgar to be Heathcliff's friend for her sake. Catherine eagerly suggests bringing Heathcliff into the parlor, a gesture of warmth and equality, but Edgar hesitates, insisting that the kitchen is a more appropriate place for Heathcliff. His remark brims with both condescension and discomfort, revealing his deep unease at Heathcliff's presence. Unfazed by Edgar's thinly veiled disdain, Catherine counters with a sharp compromise. Nelly can set 2 tables in the parlor, one for Edgar and Isabella representing the gentry, and another for herself and Heathcliff. This moment underscores the simmering tension between Edgar's rigid sense of class superiority and Catherine's refusal to conform to societal expectations, as well as Edgar's growing jealousy over Catherine's obvious delight in Heathcliff's return. When Heathcliff enters the parlor, Nelly gets a full view of the new Heathcliff, tall, athletic, intelligent, but with a lurking curiosity in his eyes. Gone is the degraded servant Hindley had made him. Yet there is something unsettling beneath the surface. Catherine and Heathcliff exchange pointed accusations, each claiming the other had forgotten them during their years apart. Heathcliff reveals he had planned on only to just steal a fleeting glimpse of Catherine before exacting his long-simmering revenge on Hindley. Then he hints at taking his own life to escape the consequences. However, Catherine's unexpectedly warm and joyous reception has altered those plans. Heathcliff has had a hard life since he left 3 years ago. but says the struggle was all for Catherine. Later that night, Catherine wakes Nelly up and says that Edgar is sulky because she is excited for Heathcliff. Nelly assumes Heathcliff has forgiven Hindley and has extended a hand of friendship by staying at Wuthering Heights. Nelly asks Catherine her opinion on the matter. Catherine reveals that Heathcliff had shown up to Wuthering Heights seeking news of her, and Hindley, intrigued by his presence, invited him to join a card game with a group of companions. During the game, Hindley lost money to Heathcliff, and the loss revealed something unexpected. Heathcliff clearly had wealth to spare. Sensing an opportunity, Hindley encouraged Heathcliff to return and gamble more, eager to potentially profit off of Heathcliff. Heathcliff claims he has decided to stay at Wuthering Heights because it is closer to Thrushcross Grange than Gimmerton, and this will allow him more opportunity to see Catherine. Catherine resolves not only to forgive Edgar for not knowing how much she had suffered in Heathcliff's absence, but also to be an angel towards Edgar. When Catherine tries to reconcile with Edgar after her excitement about Heathcliff, this reflects her ability to manipulate and navigate social relationships to maintain control. While she values Edgar for his refinement and the comfort he provides, her fiery reaction to Heathcliff's return reveals where her true emotions lie. Her decision to be an angel to Edgar is a strategic move to maintain harmony while keeping her connection to Heathcliff alive. This tension between her pragmatic marriage and her untamed bond with Heathcliff underscores Catherine's internal conflict. It seems to work because the next day, Edgar does not object to not only Catherine visiting Wuthering Heights, but her bringing Isabella along. Isabella Linton is now 18 years old and has developed a crush on Heathcliff. This concerns Edgar not only because of Heathcliff's dubious background, but also because of the implications around inheritance. If Edgar dies without a male heir, Isabella would inherit everything. And if she marries Heathcliff, it could all fall into his hands. Isabella's crush escalates into lovesickness, and she lashes out at Catherine because Catherine controls Heathcliff. Catherine does not mince her words and warns Isabella by saying that Heathcliff is not a rough diamond. He is a fierce, pitiless, wolfish man, and he'd crush you. I know he couldn't love a Linton, and yet he'd be quite capable of marring your fortune. Nelly also tries to warn Isabella, saying honest people don't hide their past. Not only does Heathcliff refuse to say where he's been for the past 3 years, now Nelly has heard from Joseph that Heathcliff is taking all of Hindley's money in those card games, and that Hindley is borrowing money against his land. Isabella decides to ignore Catherine and Nelly's warnings. One day, while Edgar is away, Catherine and Isabella are in the library when Catherine notices Heathcliff passing by the window. With a mischievous smile, she calls out to him and invites him inside. Seizing the opportunity to stir the pot, Catherine teasingly informs Heathcliff that Isabella has developed a crush on him. Heathcliff seems repulsed by Isabella, but also curious. As Isabella excuses herself from the room, Heathcliff, unfiltered as ever, declares to Catherine that he could never live with someone like Isabella, admitting his hatred for the Lintons runs so deep that he would likely give Isabella black eyes every few days. Heathcliff confirms with Catherine that Isabella is Edgar's heir. Catherine says they should drop the subject, and Heathcliff does oblige, but Nelly catches Heathcliff grinning several times over the course of the evening. Partly teasing, partly trying to control the situation, Catherine reveals Isabella's crush to Heathcliff, highlighting her confidence that Heathcliff would never reciprocate Isabella's feelings. Beneath the surface, her actions assert dominance. reminding both Heathcliff and Isabella that she holds the strongest connection to him. This moment also exposes Catherine's insecurity and need to maintain her central role in these relationships, reflecting the complex power dynamics at play. Chapter 10 brings us a Heathcliff who is transformed. He is no longer the victim of Hindley's cruelty, but a man with wealth and a plan. His return sets the stage for a dangerous rivalry with Edgar. And let's not forget Isabella. Blinded by her infatuation, she is stepping right into Heathcliff's trap. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next one.